Like you said yesterday, the NFL is exploding. And the rate we're at right now, again, I'm not trying to disrespect soccer or anything like that, but it does feel like by the end of my lifetime that playing field on the worldwide stage might be a little more even between football and soccer than where it lays right now, or especially compared to where it was 20 years ago. We're seeing that the international reach of the game and the fact that I think social media, everything that's kind of in our world right now has brought people from different corners of the earth to the game, and slowly but surely, I think they're learning it, right? So that's where, who knows where this all goes, but it's incredible how the NFL has taken over the landscape of sports in America, especially. I mean, it's incredible.
Sources close to me tell me that Victor Kiam sold to James Orthwein, who was going to move the team to St. Louis, and in lieu of that, Robert Kraft bought the Patriots. And I recall some sort of a checkmate move where Kraft bought the stadium first, and Kraft played the chessboard just right to make it impossible, or close to impossible, for Orthwein to take Kraft's favorite team away from his home.
Right.
And he saved that team. Now, at one point, I think they were talking about moving to Hartford, but that's still New England. It's not St. Louis, but it was Orthwein before that. And Jerry Jones, February 25, 1989.
Wow, I could still remember the day.
He bought the Cowboys for $140 million.
Wow.
$140 million. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's soon going to be less than half of the salary cap for one season. And the equivalent, according to this article I'm looking at, of $140 million today is $342.8 million, which isn't even going to get you close. It just shows you how much that has appreciated relative to the time value of money and what a great investment it was and still is. At some point, though, I mean, I don't know. Is there a ceiling? Is there? Like, it can't continue to go up and up and up exponentially. Can it?
No,
That's why
I don't think it
globalize.
can.
Because
you're right.
Because you have a set amount of inventory, and you can you can market it anywhere in the world. So the focal point had been, for the first 85, 90 years of the existence of the NFL, to saturate the United States of America. And then they realized, well, there's a lot more people not in the U.S. than there are in the U.S. If we can get those people interested, it's just a matter of putting it on their TVs or their phones or their computers or their laptops, their tablets, whatever. We can still make a lot more money, and we'll throw them a game or two a year to get them really interested and talk about the possibility wistfully of playing a Super Bowl in some other country, even though they never will. But they talk about it to dangle that carrot to get people interested, and the next thing you know, billion-dollar business becomes combined all 32 teams. I mean, really, how long before we say it's a $1 trillion business?
I don't think it's
if
I
you've
don't
got 32 teams
right.
worth $10 billion each, you're a third of the way to $1 trillion if you combine them all.
I can imagine
it's just a matter of time before it is $1 trillion.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, listen, I can imagine it keep going up, especially if they keep 32 teams and keep it at that. Because I mean, again, where you look at it here a little. One, we still have a great part of our population that isn't in on football in America, right? Like, we laugh about it every year, the day after the Super Bowl, when they tell us 100 million people watch. We go, what the F were the other 200 million people doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't get away from the Super Bowl when it's here. It's like literally everywhere. So it's a little like, damn, we still haven't reached some of those people there as well. But I think with the wealth gap right now, right? And we're in an era where the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. And we're back towards like the Rockefeller Carnegie era here right now in our world, where the NFL franchise thing is becoming like a luxury status symbol for the ultra wealthy. And that's where I think sometimes, like, when I, think about weird things like this, because we're obsessed with the sport and people bring up conversations all the time, that's sometimes where I think, I don't know, maybe this will continue to skyrocket up because of the wealth of some people in this country. And I mean, come on, we got some people in the country right now that it feels like they could buy the NFL as a whole, let alone a team. So, that's where I can envision that kind of happening, Mike, to your point.
Oh, and you and I may have heard rumors about certain moguls interested in just writing a check for the whole damn operation.
Right.
Not that the whole damn operation is for sale, all 32 teams at one time. And one of the problems they are anticipating, and I think they're kind of experiencing it a little bit now, it's hard to find enough people who have the money to write the check. Even though you only have to come up with 30% cash, it's not like people are walking around with $3 billion in cash to buy a $10 billion team.
Yeah.
We were talking about Tom Brady and his media tour before the show. He was on with frontofficesports.com, and they asked him where things stood with his effort to become involved in NFL ownership because Mark Davis is trying to sell him like 10% of the team at a ridiculous discount, and the rest of the owners aren't going to go for that. They don't want the value of equity of any team to be anything less than absolute top dollar because they want it to keep going up and up and up. But at some point, you're going to have an issue where the current ownership model doesn't work. They're constantly looking to tweak the rules to make it easier for families who own teams to keep the teams, for people who want to get involved in the sport to be able to get involved in a way where, like, you can use more debt. You know, most of these ultra-rich people can't just go to the bank and say, give me $3 billion cash. Their money is, it reminds me of, and I don't know why I'm thinking of this, it's not even Christmas time, but when there's a run on the Building and Loan and It's a Wonderful Life, and Jimmy Stewart saying well, your money's in his house and his money's in his house. And that's how it is when you're really rich. You don't just let your money sit around in a checking account. Your money is in stuff growing in value.
Right.
And so it makes it harder when it's time to buy a team. So my point is they're going to have to change with the times at some point. And it gets back to the thing we just spent a lot of time complaining about when it comes to owners who don't know how to run teams. Because there's no test that you have to pass to buy a team. There's one test. Can you come up with the money to buy it?
Right.
Are you rich enough to buy it? Or are you sufficiently connected to someone by blood or marriage to inherit it when it's time for that person to go to the great luxury suite in the sky?
Yeah. We'll see.
Or elsewhere.
I don't know. Those are problems that I don't have to worry about.
If they're lucky.
Those are problems we don't have to worry. Hopefully, you can keep
about,
growing this, keep getting PFT big. We can buy a team. I'll help you run it, and we'll do it that way. So, just make sure you keep working hard, all right?
There's something about fitting a camel through the eye of a needle that comes to mind when I think about the ultra-wealthy standing at the gates and trying to convince St. Peter to let them in. Something about a camel through the eye of a needle, but I don't know. I digress, as I often do. We are, again, 10 days away from the Super Bowl. We are just a few days away from going to Las Vegas. And we don't yet have the plans finalized, but apparently, like we did 4 years ago in Miami when it was Kansas City,
Chiefs,
and
Niners,
San Francisco in Super Bowl 54. Apparently, the Joint Mega Picks podcast coming next Wednesday will be live, live and interactive for whoever cares to show up. And I'm still waiting for the final green light. But apparently somewhere at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, presumably in the sports book, we will be there doing it. Whoever wants to show up and heckle us, throw tomatoes at us, whatever the case may be.
Well, yeah.
I think we're going to be doing that next Wednesday.
Be careful throwing tomatoes at me because my arm is better than yours, whoever that is, and they're going to get something back. So just say be careful about that one, all right? We'll see where it goes. But you're right. I'm so excited for the week. I really am. We'll be there at the Mandalay Bay. We always love our time. I got my family coming in at the end of the week. I'm excited for that. Of course, it's Mahomes and the Chiefs and Taylor Swift, and it's the 49ers and, of course, Shanahan, who's my buddy and a longtime family friend. So, I got a lot of interest in this one, and it's going to be fun breaking it down with you next week. And this is the matchup I picked for the Super Bowl. I picked the Niners over the Chiefs. I'm nervous. I am.
I did too.
Yeah, I know. As
And you're going to pick the 49ers. I'm going to pick the Chiefs next week. That's what's going to make it fun.
Well, I know. And the way the Chiefs are playing, the Niners aren't playing the best, right? And I had a family member yesterday. It was like, "Hey, you predicted that this was going to be. You need to tell NBC to pub this more." And I wanted to be like, I was nice to my cousin, but I wanted to be like, Niners versus Chiefs wasn't exactly going out on a limb before the season started. I bet you like 6 out of 10 people probably had that matchup, or if it wasn't the Niners, it was the Eagles instead, something along those lines.
And that's the thing about the preseason predictions. It is a guess of all guesses. And if you're right, you are just lucky. And I take no pride whatsoever because they expect us to do it when in Rome. Remember, I said that before the season. Like, I really don't want to make these predictions, but everybody does it, so you got to do it. And I feel no differently getting it right than I do getting it wrong, because it was a dart that you throw with your eyes closed in September, and we both got lucky.
Yeah.
Period.
Well,
we got lucky.
Yeah.
And
I don't
next
even know
year,
if it's that.
we'll do it again. But you know what? And there isn't that much luck involved.
No,
when
that's what I'm saying.
There's
it's
separation.
The Chiefs and it's
and
Mahomes.
The Chiefs
right.
are the Chiefs.
Right. I'm brilliant.
And the Browns are the Browns.
I
so
have picked the Chiefs to be in the Super Bowl 5 out of the last 6 years. I'm brilliant. I kind of know the NFL landscape, right? So, hey, but it's like it's an easy one. It's like
Chris
the Chiefs
Berman.
in the field.
Every year in the 90s, Chris Berman picked the Bills and the 49ers.
Yeah,
and
that's
never
right.
happened,
I remember
but it was
that.
A safe pick.
Right.
It was a safe pick every single year. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.